Hello YouTube and welcome back. Zadarkus here with the tier list for the patch 7.6 for the junglers. My first pick here is Noodle. Noodle with a 53% win ratio for Plat Plus players, reaching up to 61% win ratio for players above Diamond 4. Noodle currently with a win rate that has been increasing over the past 4 days. Now, if you're wondering why you should pick Noodle and when, Noodle is a very good champion to pick if you are playing against champions like Jax, Amumu, Olaf, Rek'Sai, Twitch, and of course Hecarim, because of his debuff and AoE damage. Basically against Amumu you got the AoE damage even if he does ultimate you, and you got the attack speed and movement speed debuff against champions like Olaf, Jax, Twitch and Hecarim. You can see the win rate there and the pick rate of those champions when matched up together. Now, countering Noodle in the jungle, you have champions like Shackle, Master Yi, Ivern, Nocturne, Ramos, and Gragas, for example. And if you can see, many of these either just neglect his overall slow debuff, others just stop his ultimate, and overall just make it a pain in the ass to be playing Noodle. When it comes to summoner spells, of course go the Flash Smite, and in some cases people take Ghost, but I imagine that is against champions like Olaf and Master Yi that just ignore your debuff completely. Starting items, of course, Warding Totem, a refillable potion, a Hunter's Talisman or Machete, with the Hunter's Talisman there being a preference, even though it's funny that the Machete has a bigger win ratio. The early items, of course, are the boots for that map coverage, the control ward for the vision control, and a tracker's knife. After that, of course, go for the Bammy Cinder for the HP and the Time Mat, so that you can later on work for the Titanic Hydra as well. And of course a Sunfire Cap if you do so want. The next champion in my list is Shackle with a 55% win ratio for Plat Plus, reaching up to 58% on average by a Diamond 2 player above. He is a very good pick against champions like Wukong, Nidalee, Elise, Kha'Zix, and Rek'Sai, and suffers against champions like Ivern, Skarner, Amumu, Twitch, and Warwick. If you can see it, but basically he suffers against tanks with CC, and it makes perfect sense. His summoner spells are of course Smite in all cases, and Ignite in most situations, here being picked 86% of the times, with the option of Flash, Ghost or Exhaust after that. I imagine that you take Ghost or Flash if you are not very efficient and used to play Shackle, but Ignite is of course the option for the Control Jungle and the early ganks. The starting items being the Machete, the Warding Totem and the refillable potion, with the other items just having a very low pick ratio, so I guess that is from inexperienced players. The early items should be Time Mat, Boots, and the Control Ward, going up for a Stalker's Blade or Skirmisher's Saber, moving up for the Boots of Mobility for that map pressure. The next champion I did select was Xin Zhao with a win rate of 52% and going up to 56% by mains. He's a very good pick against champions like Rengar, Shyvana, Udyr, Nidalee, Olaf and Fiddlesticks, but suffers against champions like Noodle, Shackle, Ivern, Warwick, Amumu and Master Yi. Xin Zhao here with a very high snowball potential as well, just like the Shackle before, but with a bigger team fight proficiency. Sorry for the words. The summoner spells of course being the Smite and the Flash, Ghost in some situations because it helps you chase the people or get away after you engage. Thanks to your low cooldown E, you just can keep up with them, but normally just take the Flash. The starting items are of course the Hunter Machete, the Warding Totem and the refillable potion, moving for the Skirmisher's Saber, helping you fight 1v1s that you want to upgrade to a Blood Razor, get of course the Control Ward and the Boots. The next champion I selected was Warwick with a 52% win rate, going up to 59 by Warwick mains and higher Hilo. A very good pick against champions like Nidalee, Udyr, Rek'Sai, Elise, Rengar and Evelynn, suffering against champions like Ivern, Shackle, Skarner, Nuno, Jax and Shyvana. Now Warwick here, of course, running the smite and the flash in 75% of the times, being ghost also a viable option with a tiny extra win rate over the flash, depending on the situations. If you're playing against champions like Woody Requiem, Ramos, maybe you do want to take the ghost. Starting items being the machete, the warding totem, and if you want even a control ward once you get back to the base. Going for the Tiamat, boots of speed normally, control ward, and buying either the skirmisher or the stalker blade, and it goes to your preference and your play style. You either can get the slow or you can get the challenging smite, it depends on your situation. With his ultimate and his ganking potential, also can snowball very heavily, being unkillable in the late game, and can basically get easy kills with his level 6. My last pick here is Master Yi with a 52% win rate, going up to a 56% per se win rate, and being a very strong pick against champions like Sejuani, Rengar, Olaf, Evelyn, Nidalee, and Volibear. Now you can see overall these are champions that have low hard CC, and he can basically 1v1 them in the jungle very easily, especially after level 6. And of course Master Yi here being somebody that farmed, can snowball very heavily and can just kill entire teams if he doesn't get CC'd properly, and of course can split push the enemy team to hell. His counters here being Pantheon, of course, hard CC, Shackle for the early counter jungle, of course, Ivern, hard CC and a tank, Jax, Ramos and Warwick, as you can see, all with hard CC, and we have Jax and Ramos here that basically counter his auto attacks very heavily. Smite, of course, with flash or ghost in most situations. Some people do take the teleport for the split push, but if you go with flash, you should be fine in most situations. Starting items is the machete, the totem, and of course the refillable potion. Going for the skirmisher blade for the blood razor later on, a control ward, and the boots. Now this is the champion pool that I would say are the most successful junglers at the current time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. My name is Zadarkus. This video was made for you. Remember to give it a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Leave a comment because I love to read them, and subscribe if you are not. Share it with your friends, it helps out a lot. And I hope you are awesome, and please do stay awesome. I'll be seeing you pretty soon with a new one. Bye bye.